Alrighty, it's 5:23 right now in Cleveland. Time to see what's clicking in Cleveland on this Wednesday afternoon. And for that, we say hello to our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Stephanie, hope you're having a great day. I am sure that the internet lit up after President Donald Trump called for a boycott of Goodyear on Twitter. What were you seeing in the reactions?
It did, Jay. Reactions came fast, and there were those who support President Donald Trump, but most of our Ohio officials had a very clear message, and that was, don't mess with Akron. Our Senator for Ohio, Rob Portman, released a statement. He said, I believe private companies are free to set their own guidelines, but I would hope they do it fairly and objectively with respect for free speech. A different message coming, though, from Akron Mayor Daniel Horrigan, who accused President Donald Trump of coming to destroy the American economy and heartland jobs. And he added a jab saying, luckily you seem to fail at everything you do. And then in a second tweet, he said Goodyear has believed and invested in Akron for generations with the hashtag #WeStandWithGoodyear. Ohio House of Representative Minority Leader Amelia Sykes, who is from Akron, said the city is very protective of its people and what made Akron the city it is today, including Goodyear in that group, and told Trump to stand down. And then at the national level, U.S. Senator for Ohio Sherrod Brown called it absolutely despicable that the president would call for a boycott of an American company based in Akron that employs thousands of U.S. workers. Our Ohio officials not mincing words with the president today. Now, in a friendlier corner of the internet, it is still Cleveland Burger Week, and we've been asking you to show us what you've been getting. These photos come from Deborah Smith. She has so far tried out the jalapeno popper burger from Sauce Tap Room and the 49th Street burger from where else? 49th Street Tavern, and they look amazing. Keep sending us those. You can do that by using Near Me on the WKYC app and also texting us at 216-344-3300J. We've also got your favorite recommendations for Burger Week on WKYC.com.
Very good, and now I'm hungry. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Burger Week
yes,
is
me too.
You just can't keep up because there's too many great burger places in Northeast Ohio. Stephanie, thanks. We'll see you soon.